All right. All right. Welcome to the stream. Should anybody actually show up? Found this guy at Ross. Quite an interesting thing to find there. Sorry if there's no activity going on right at the moment, but hi. Reason being is I'm eating food. Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. Just a heads up, if you do comment, you get shouted out at the end of the video. So, sorry, I'm munching down on some dinner. Didn't expect anyone to show up quite yet. No, there we go. All right, let's dive in here. We'll start with Devcon. And before anybody does question it, I did purchase it at Ross. I purchased this dude at Ross, which kind of makes me laugh because I originally thought this guy was going to be at Ross. I thought he was going to be at Ross. And lo and behold, I went into a Ross, and there was this guy. So I'm like, you know what? I might as well just pick up the last wave of Legacy Evolutions because I have nothing else left to go for with it. So this guy will be the last Legacy figure we ever take a look at. So, yeah. But just seriously, just for anyone recognizing, I did purchase this at Ross, okay? The sticker might be falling off because of the fact that it is, you know, it's a little new, but I did acquire this at Ross. This is not a joke. I promise. I did acquire this at Ross. I was literally going in there searching for something else and just happened to wander onto this thing. They must have blundered and put the wrong price tag on. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh yeah, well, I'm getting Devcon too. So let's get his box open, shall we? So, that being said, what kind of, like, yo, what's going on, Zaga? How you doing? Been a quick minute. I don't know if you managed to get this guy over in Indonesia yet, but this guy here happened to be floating around at my local Ross. So, and Ross is one of those like department stores where all of the stuff that is not sold throughout the year in the United States where it's sold, then they take all of that product and they take it and they give it to like Ross or Ollie's or like a some sort of department, like outlet department store. In Utah, we have another store called NPS. So there's loads of things that are going on with it. So, yeah. Doing good. I just got a DeviantArt a week ago. Cool, cool. I personally don't subscribe to DeviantArt. I think that's where a lot of some of our problems come from. They read or they see something on the internet and they're like, oh well, that must be real. Not saying that's what you do, and I'm not saying that that's what everyone does. But I'm saying this mainly because that's my personal experience, and not to mention my younger brother. For those of you who do not know, I do have a younger brother, and his name is iStar552. So, yeah. So, I do have a brother, and that's something I really don't think a lot of people understand. So, wait, you got the Hot Wheels? I did. So I got one of them. The other, I didn't have enough money to acquire two of them. I only had enough to acquire one of them. See you going at a trip. I mostly practice art there. Oh, cool. Well, I'm glad you do. In the United States, we tend to just interact with DeviantArt, and then furries are born. So, I'm not saying that's an issue, and I'm not saying that whoever is a furry or dresses up or has that sort of kink or has that sort of lifestyle, I do not judge. Okay, we're talking about a guy who's collecting like children's toys here. So you're like I'm not against furries. I'm not against all of it. I just think it's a little weird. You know. So, but that's cool though. You'll have to send me some of your artwork. I definitely want to see some of that. I definitely think it would be pretty cool if we had like a fan stream where everybody brought in their artwork and everybody brought in all of their cool stuff. So, yeah. Okay, well, I know exactly what this mold is. And technically, yes, this guy could show up again in Studio Series 86, but I don't think he will. So, oh, what's going on, Josh Lopez? What's also going on there, SF6978? I do have Legos. I have the Lego Optimus Prime, and I have the Lego Bumblebee. I just don't really mess with a ton of them right at the moment, but, yeah, could be worse. So, my hand has some scratches because we have the channel animal, who seems to not be in his chair, apparently. But, no. I have scratches on my hand because of that. But, I do have Legos. I just don't do them often. The reason being, you got Optimus Prime. I have many Optimus Primes. You need to be specific about that here. I have many Optimus Prime I. I have... Oh, good lord. I have collected and sold more than I really should. But I can say this, I do have Optimus Prime. That's right. I forgot this is the Blur mold. This is the Studio Series 86 Blur mold. By the way, this is the Studio Series 86 Blur mold. It's just heavily retooled. You got Optimus Prime. Can I see? I will show you all of them once I have gotten through this guy here and I get through this guy here. And the whole point of that is I got to get these guys in their vehicle modes, because as soon as I get them in their vehicle modes, then we can start to really see some of the cool features. Well, maybe not see some of the cool features, but basically my point is that I have to get them into vehicle mode first before I can get hey, thanks for subbing. I appreciate it. You know, you didn't have to do that, but you chose to, so I appreciate it. I appreciate that more than you will ever know. So, but golly, if there's one thing I forgot about the stinking Blur mold is that it was a mold. It was a mold for sure. Not a good one, but it was a mold. That's why I didn't purchase that one. So, yeah. I was gonna say, if you guys do choose to sub, I mean, I'm very close to 2,000 subscriptions. I really would personally. I would love for that to be like my Christmas, New Year's, and birthday present, because my birthday is happening this month. That would just be my Christmas, my birthday present, that would be everything all at once. If y'all were able to manage to pull that off, I personally really would just love to see myself get to 2,000 subscriptions before I have to take a small hiatus on my channel, because I'm going to medical. Well, maybe not medical school, but I'm going to school to be a medical assistant, and that is going to take up a lot of my time. And so I want to be able to make sure that I get everything all squared away before I end up going. So, yeah. But thank you. You did not have to subscribe at all, but you chose to. So thank you so much. So. I will show you guys Optimus Prime here in a moment. We just got Devcon. Actually, I think I'm supposed to take this gun here. I'm supposed to put that in here. That's where that's supposed to go. Here we go. Here's Devcon in his vehicle mode. I don't know. I'm gonna be real with you. This guy's only appearance was in one episode. So yeah. But anyways, I will show this. I will show the collection as soon as I am done getting through Boneshaker. Actually, I don't know that I really need to go through him, but more along the lines of we will unbox it. So, but yeah, no, this is Boneshaker. I won't get him into robot mode this evening because obviously he's already in vehicle mode, as all Hot Wheels are. I did manage to find several. What was it? I did manage to find not only him, but I did manage to find Twin Mill as well. And okay, so for those of you who do not know, my good buddy, my good friend, Riveted Rail Fan. He is a Riveted Rail Fan and Riveted Review. Excuse me. He identifies as both. Correction, not as in identifies, but those are his two channels. He messaged me and said, if you ever get these guys, you're gonna have to get Twin Mill because do not buy Boneshaker. I was like, why is that the case? And he kept on and he went on in full detail. How much did all that cost? Okay, so real quickly, this was not cheap, okay? And this is now, I've just found out, the new standard price point that's going to be coming for deluxes in the United States, okay? This is where things are starting to go. In the United States, I now have confirmation that the price points for 2026 are going to be ridiculously expensive, okay? So, firstly, I will tell you, I paid $32.84 for this. It was not cheap. But at the same time, I'm not going to complain extremely too much because I know that this 2-pack here cost me $50, which you can still go get that 2-pack at any of your local Target. I think I paid $5 total in like with tax and everything due to the price tag of this guy because I did purchase him at Ross. So I think I paid a grand total of about $40 for the both of them if you add up tax and everything else included. So yeah, that's about where we ended out at on that one. So all right, I will go take you guys to the wonderful, wonderful lair that is my bedroom. That is the place where we have all of our stuff. And firstly, say hello, Toast. No, yes. So that's my buddy. This is where we throw all the inserts because it's close to the trash can. And forgive me, I'm watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, quite possibly the greatest show that has ever graced television screens. So, yeah, I'm going to shove my backpack over here simply because it'll just make my life a little easier. My room's a little dirty, not the worst thing on the planet, but it could be worse. So, and for someone who did say you have Legos, I do. I have Lego Prime, I have Lego B, and all of my stuff and accoutrement right here. This is the newest edition. I purchased this for a grand total of $30, and it is hooked up to the CRT. So, and all those people who wonder if it all works, it does work. Who is he? What do you mean by he/she? I don't mean what you mean by he/she. But yeah, no, it works just perfectly fine. Everything on this thing works. So yeah, that's my guy right there. And because it's too blurry, you guys can't read a good chunk of that. But yeah. So anyways, our tour kind of starts here. So actually, let's actually begin at the door because the door has some pretty cool stuff too. Oh, the cat. The cat. His name is Toast, and he is my buddy. He is my absolute buddy. He will ride around on my shoulders. So, anyways, so I have seen these guys a grand total of twice, and both of them I paid VIP because fucking A, who doesn't like rock and roll? Who does not like heavy metal, rock and roll, rap, and the whole deal? So, this is the band From Ashes to New. I will forever hail them as the guys who got me stuck to new metal. So, and here is the second one that they just did on their last tour, which was Blackout, which is honestly quite possibly the best tour I've ever been to. And this little red piece of confetti is actually from the last concert I went to, which was the Bring Me the Horizon show with Motionless in White, Amira El Fiki, and The Plot in You. So, yeah. And my uncle gave me that sign just because he thought it was funny. So, yeah. Now, continuing on over here, we have the 19th Battalion ODST flag from Halo 3 ODST. And yes, I am a Halo fan. And we will get into that a little bit more as we continue. I have a clear plastic sign of the Superman logo, or the Kryptonian symbol for hope. And then on this side, we have Halo Infinite. I am a Halo fan myself, as I stated prior. So, and then we have a signed piece of artwork from one of the Deadpool comic books. This is not it's a normal comic. It just doesn't, it's not worth much. So, and my family is from Wales. We have the Xbox 360. We have our sesame seeds. That's right. We have our sesame seeds in this room. But we also have the 360 working its way out here. I'm going to turn it off so that way we don't overheat everything. And there it goes. So everything is off now. So we have that. We have the VHS player, which plays quite possibly some of the best stuff I've ever had in my life. Moving on over, we have the Venom poster with the Do or Do Not, There Is No Try from Yoda. Quite possibly one of the best quotes you'll ever hear. We have our Age of the Primes. Now that we've gotten to things, we've gotten to all of that, we're getting to the Transformers now. I have the Age of the Primes Ultra Magnus here. We got the Legacy United. Mine's a factory errored one, but this is the Legacy United G1 Universe Optimus Prime. Everything from this shelf here is all from Rise of the Beasts, and when I said which one do you mean, I genuinely meant it, because I have Rise of the Beasts Prime back here, but we've got everything Rise of the Beasts. I'm missing a grand total of 2 figures, that being Noah Diaz and Novocaine. Those are the only 2 that I am missing. So yeah, I do have another one. So how is your room so cool? Well, it continues. So yeah, what is the back one? Which one? Which back one? What do you mean by which back one? I have Rise of the Beasts Prime back there. I've also got Primal. I've got Ape Link. I've got Scourge with an upgrade kit on there. And then in this one here, we have almost everything that you could possibly need. I do have 86 Prime back there and 86 Megs, coincidentally next to Kingdom Rodimus and 86 Optimus Prime in the way back. Yep, that would be Rise of the Beasts. That's the Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Buzzworthy Bumblebee Optimus Prime. So yeah. I have all of Devastator, all of Studio Series 86 Devastator here. Can you bring out the Optimus Prime and Megatron? Not tonight. I will do that, however, in a future review, because the next review that I'm hopefully going to be able to acquire, the Studio Series 86 Magnus. And if you guys do subscribe, that would definitely help. We've also got the Age of the Primes bumper here. We've got War for Cybertron Runamuck there. Earthrise Runamuck. So I actually, in my last stream, nobody believed this, but I purchased him for $5 at Walmart. So yeah. And then on the next shelf here, we have all of the Transformers 1 cast that I've got so far, which is pretty much everybody. And then in the back there, we've got all of our crossover figures. And then down here, we got a Halo Bubble Shield. We've got a Borderlands Psycho, and all of the Bumblebee movie Decepticons are in here. So yeah. And then we continue on to the next thing, which is my VHS collection. And if I have to start it off, I have to start it off on this side here, because I'm also a Thomas the Tank Engine nerd, as the name implies. So I had to collect as many VHS tapes as I possibly could. And it continues on over here to the side. There's some SpongeBob. There's Back to the Future, which is quite possibly one of the best trilogies you'll ever see in your life. And then on the downward here, we have Harry Potter. We've got The Patriot. This is quite possibly my favorite Mel Gibson movie. One of my favorites. Christmas Vacation. We'll be watching that here sometime soon. South Park, Dogma. This movie just turned 25 years old. So yeah, I gotta say that's quite a nice addition there. Spaceballs, The Three Stooges, and then if we rotate it over here, I have my entire Thomas the Tank Engine DVD collection, which is even more ridiculous. And if we swing this phone on over here to this cabinet, we're not done. I have more VHS tapes. And I have the entire season classic series of Thomas the Tank Engine on DVD from the UK. So, and I am an Eagle Scout, so nobody questioned that. But yeah, I have to do that in order to shut this stinking thing. So, shut all that. And then we'll move back on over here. So we'll start off with this. We have the Age of the Primes 4-pack box. We got the Trackmaster 3 Flying Scotsman. We got Slugs box right here, and all of my boxes usually have a Voyager and a Deluxe class in them. And there's Prime. We've got 86 Prime. We've got those two of Devastator, and then we've got all this fun stuff here. And this just happened to be floating around. There's my 2DS. Oh, it gets... Trust me, there's more. And take note, it's taken me a long time to collect a lot of this stuff. So, yeah. We'll start off up here. We have all of the 86 Dinobots up here. We have Sludge, we got Swoop, we've got Slag, we've got Grimlock, and we've got Slug. So, yeah. Yeah, and then in this cabinet here, this is a cabinet I personally have sought out pieces for. And there's a piece that's sitting on top of the CRT that we will get to. So, anyways, on this side, we have the Master Chief helmet from Halo 5 Guardians. We have an unopened can of Moa Burger flavored Pringles, which we may do a video of testing these. I don't know if I feel like doing so because it's been so long. We have the Game Fuel. We have the Game Fuel box art up there, which is honestly something that was really nice to see. And I've got one of the cans back there. I've already drank it. It's already been forever drank. We have a Halo 4 Chief. We got Halo Infinite Chief, and we have Halo 2 and 3 Chief right there. And if you'll notice, at the top of the helmet, it is signed by the Master Chief himself. And it's kind of difficult to see back here, but Cortana signed it as well. There we go. Whoa, hello. Here. Really difficult to see, but I did get it signed by both of them, so, yeah. I have Master Chief signed by both of them. Now, moving on to the Studio Series Autobot cabinet. Not Studio Series 86, Studio Series. We have Revenge of the Fallen Prime back there. We have Age of Extinction Prime back there. Age of Extinction Ratchet. Freaking Last Night Hot Rod in there. We got lots of goodies in here. We've got the Universal Studios exclusive evac going on in there too. And that's pretty much it for this cabinet. This cabinet's next. This one's a little less anticlimactic because, well, I don't have very many Studio Series Decepticons because there haven't really been that many that have been released. So, yeah. And I did have the original Studio Series Revenge of the Fallen Devastator. However, the person I bought it from left a bad taste in my mouth, so I sold it. So, yeah. And instead, I ended up acquiring the 86 Devastator. And down here, we have the multitude of collections that goes down here. We have the Legacy and Age of the Primes animated collection going on over here. We've got Age of the Primes straight down the middle with all of the Primes that you can possibly acquire so far. We've got Micronus, we've got Solus, we've got Alchemist, we've got Vector, we've got... let's see, we've got Onyx floating around back there, we've got A3, we've got Megatronus, and we've got Prima going on back there. Dude, there's a lot of this stuff going on here. So how you get so many subs? Time. I'm just going to be real with you, Time. I've had this channel for about 10 plus, or not even 10. We're about almost 15 years into this channel. We're really close to it. I believe we've got another 2.5 years left to go, and then we will have officially gotten, been on this channel for that long. So yeah. But that's pretty much it. And then no metal fan is complete without his metal CDs. So we have Ronald from, by the way, this is personally one of my favorite albums to come out from him, from Ronnie Radke and Falling in Reverse. This is the album Ronald. This is the last album of Linkin Park to feature Chester Bennington on it, with a couple of lost tracks on here. Like, I believe we have Lost in here as well. Like, yeah, we've got Lost, Friendly Fire. Let's see here. What other ones do we have that they didn't really do anything? No, I think it's just those two. Oh, no. QWERTY's on there as well. But no, this is the last Chester Bennington Linkin Park album, Paper Cuts. It's quite possibly one of the best ones I've ever listened to, so. However, it pales in comparison to Hybrid Theory. Let's just put it that way. Hybrid Theory, one of the best, and pioneered Linkin Park's career, along with Meteora. And if I had Hunting Party, and if I had what was it? If I had One More Light, Hunting Party, and oh good lord, I can't remember that album. It was their third album they ever did, and I can't even remember what it was called. Good lord. It's the album with What I've Done on it, with What I've Done is on. So, all right, now that we've checked out the room, now we can head back to the table, and I can unbox Boneshaker. So, yeah. And this is what happens. Get out of my seat. Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to hear a very unhappy kitty. No, I know. Is he your chair? You don't need to sit in mine. So, but yeah, that's where all of that tends to reside. So, a lot of all that stuff is where it resides, where it lives, where it's gonna live for the rest of time. So, yeah. Whew. All right. I also haven't eaten much for dinner, so pardon me if you hear crunching, munching, and things of nature in the background that you just don't want to hear. So yeah. Pizza, man. Some of the best stuff on the planet. So, I don't live in New York, but I think my pizza here is pretty darn decent. After this slice, we'll cut open into him. I promise. So delicious. All right. Now I gotta ask this next question. I've been on a early 2000s music kick. Me personally, I'm a not a real big fan of the early 2000s because I feel like a lot of maybe not movies, but a lot of things that came out in the 2000s weren't weren't bad. In fact, they were so bad that they were good. Let me explain when I finish this slice here. All right. Ever so gently. Ever so gently. Not like a surge there. For the very first time. Can you believe that her and Tupac almost all could have gotten married at one point? Oh my goodness. Like I could not believe that Madonna almost like she dated Tupac and we know they had intercourse. We know they did. So all right. I suppose I can already see one of the few reasons why my buddy was upset about this is there's no roof. And then again, those cars didn't really have much of a roof because you had to have the gear stick so freaking far out of the dang car. And this is not inaccurate. I thought he was a Decepticon. Apparently he's not a bot. I was not aware of that. Anyways. So. But no, we do have Boneshaker. We have him out of his packaging. So, yeah. I'm quite stoked about that. So, yeah. That being said, if y'all do decide to comment, you are allowed. Well, maybe not allowed, but you will be getting shouted at the end of the video. You just will. You know, it's just how I roll. It's just exactly how I roll. That at the end of said stream, you get shouted out at the end. Well, I hear my dishwasher done. So yeah. But no, I did acquire this one at Ross. Devcon was one of the ones that I did acquire at Ross. There's no question about that. So, but no, I gotta say though, for the blur mold, for this mold to have finally gotten a different use for it, I just can't I can complain to an extent. I can complain because this character was only there for one episode. So, anyways. But, you know, I don't get it. I don't get all of it, but, you know, I get enough of it to a point where it's not the worst thing on the planet, you know? And I'm fairly certain this is Blast Effects compatible, and I know that this is not a Blast Effects weapon, so, but, yeah. So, we'll keep the stream going, provided people want to just BS and talk and Q&A and anything of that nature. So, go right ahead and ask me any question you want. I'll give you as best of an answer as I can. I have never once humiliated a viewer in my life for their question, unless it's something that can be easily looked up on the internet. Methinks if we were to talk about some of the weirdest songs in the beginning or in the early 2000s, I think I gotta throw up the song "Yeah" by Usher. That's a quite weird song. It's about a dude who's like contemplating on the fact that he might want to cheat on his girlfriend, but he still doesn't know if he wants to do it or not. So he lets it go just as far as dancing in the club and grinding up on each other, and then shortly after they're done with that, he then decides, I'm gonna fuck her and cheat on my girl. And then then he has the audacity in the song to say, "You and my girl would be the best of homies." So then why would you do that? Why would you actively sabotage your own relationship for somebody else you don't even freaking know? Just saying. That's just me. And then had the nerve to blame it on her. So, anyways, reviews for these two lads probably coming out next week, maybe a little later. Not quite sure yet. So. So, anyways, I need to see Theo Adams do another 10 shots, 10 bots. I really do. That's going to be a video that I would 1000% get behind. In fact, I did something similar to that, only I did not do it as smartly, and I forgot to hit record. So, yeah. So yeah, lots of stuff that could have been done with that, but I chose not to. Because I've just got way too much weird shit going down. So, yeah. Anyways, I've got a weird transformer here if y'all want to see it. I have the, you guys remember this? Of course you do. It's the Mighty Bean Bumblebee from the Bumblebee movie. So, that being said, if I had to, I gotta say, how would you guys rank your, let me ask that question real quick here. How would you guys rank, let's start a Q&A. How would you rank the Transformers movie franchise as a whole? How would you rank the Transformers movie franchise? Gotta ask that question. For me personally, I think that we can't even rank anything without discussing the 1986 movie, because the 1986 movie is one of those movies that just, hey, what's going on, Riveted Rail fan? How you doing? How you doing? Gotta say, this guy looks pretty darn good in his out of the packaging. I like the way this looks. I am not complaining one minute bit. So he's a pretty good figure, I'm not gonna lie. So, But we're going in the middle of a Q&A here, so I'm gonna give everybody a chance to rank their Transformers movies. Like specifically, I'm gonna say this right now: the 1986 movie automatically, automatically is in its own category. And for those of you who say, "How could you do that? That's not a ranking." Yes, it is. It is a ranking because it's a movie that deserves to be in its own category. That movie, without question, if we're going to rank anything by that and by G1 standards, it's technically the best because it's the first and because there were a lot of things that they had the nerve and the balls, the cojones to do. They had so much going for them at the time with that movie, and they chose to go with the direction that they went with. And I loved the fact that they chose to do that. Now, if I get anybody in the comments section saying, "Oh, it was Hot Rod's fault. Optimus Prime died." No, it was not. Okay? It's the writer's fault that Optimus Prime died. All right? It's the writer's fault. It's not him. As you know, I'm not the biggest Boneshaker cat. Yeah, I know you're not the biggest. As entertaining as it was, Riveted Rail fan, we actually made notion to that at the beginning of the live stream. That you were telling me that he was not exactly the best of the Hot Wheels re-release or the Hot Wheels releases that you were looking forward to. We made notion to that. So do not forgot about you, Riveted. Do not think we forgot about you. You are 100% not forgotten on this channel. So, but no, so I gotta say, the 1986 movie, that one goes right up in its own category without question. Second one that goes into the next movie, we'll start with the rankings. If we're gonna go by order of release, the '07 movie, I give that, and take note, 1 to 10, 1 being the best, 10 being the worst. 1 being, I think that the '07 movie deserves the like a 2 in that category. Or actually, we'll just go by normal standards, which is 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. So it deserves like a nine out of 10, maybe an 8.5 out of 10 overall for the '07 movie. Revenge of the Fallen deserves a massive, like, I don't even know what to call Revenge of the Fallen, because that movie had so many problems plagued from the start. Like Michael Bay wanting like so many A-list actors, and then also wanting, like, there were so many directions he wanted to take that film, and then all of a sudden it was like, "Oh yeah, we found our story," and then they ran with it, and then it was all of a sudden just nothing but dick jokes, fart jokes, and everything else in between jokes. So I could not understand a lot of that because they wanted kids to go see this movie. That's what I don't understand, is they wanted kids to go see this movie, and then they threw in all of those like adult jokes and all of the non-kiddie humor, all of that. That's what I don't understand. So I'm a bigger fan of the Accelerator stuff and muscle cars and tuners when it comes to hot. Well, we know this, Riveted. We know this, Riveted Rail fan. We know this. But so if I have to throw Revenge of the Fallen in the category of the whole of the ranking system, I think I have to rank that thing maybe medium, at best a mid five. That movie is maybe at best a mid five. Um, Dark of the Moon, that one immediately goes up to spot, like, it that one gets a 10. That one's a 10 out of 10. So yeah, it is that one gets an immediate 10 out of 10. Dark of the Moon gets the 10 out of 10, no questions about it. Age of Extinction, I think that one deserves an 8 out of 10, and only the reason it gets an 8 out of 10 and not a 9.5 to 10 out of 10 is because that movie drug on for so long. Bro, you could have taken 3 intermissions in that movie and literally not missed a single beat of what was happening. In fact, like the first like 40 minutes of the movie, you probably could spend getting popcorn and not miss an any detail. None of it. That's seriously what could be done with it. And it's like, I would love to commend that, but I don't love the fact that Age of Extinction dragged on for too long. Last Night automatically gets a 1. We all know why. Uh, and if I have to list off a couple of things, the first thing I'm going to throw off in there is the fact that they still had Wheelie come back. They had, like, after he was supposed to be dead, they had Wheelie return. Then, as soon as they had Wheelie return, they had, I think they had Brains return in the previous movie. But then they also had the nerve to have unfinished animations. They also had like spotty animated shots. And take note, the scene where they repair Bumblebee, where Cade Yeager is repairing Bumblebee with what's her name? She like that scene could have easily been done and shortened into like 2 minutes at most. 2 minutes at most. Did not need to last 15. Could have lasted a grand total of 2 minutes. Did not need to last that long. And not to mention, they also had unfinished animation. I would also like to point out that the story was so unfinished, I was left confused at the end of that movie more than I was when I walked in. What do I mean? Well, let me explain. Well, that movie starts off with telling us that, oh yeah, they've been around for so freaking long. Okay, we knew that from the previous movie. Oh, they've been around since the Knights of the Round Table. Okay, we knew that because they've been around since the prehistoric eras with the dinosaurs. Oh, they can transform into dragons. Okay, again, kind of a thing we kind of suspected would happen. Not a shocking thing here. In fact, Megatron and Grimlock were supposed to turn into dragons at one point in the scripts of all of the movies, but because they changed it so many times, there's no way you could have really known what was going to go down. So that's that. And then you have then with Transformers, with along with Transformers last night, you also have like the Secret Order of the Wiccans. You have and that's only notified by the Queen. Like, I seriously cannot judge Transformers The Last Night any worse than a 1 out of 10 on the scale. So it's a 1. It is a bad movie. It's a bad movie with A-list actors, with B-list acting, and like S-tier CGI. And if I have to throw another insult in there, it's probably along the lines of a D to E, almost F tier script. Because I feel like Transformers The Last Night was done on one draft. I feel like it was done on one draft, and they were like, you know what? It's Michael Bay. He can figure out how to make a masterpiece out of this mess. He managed to do that with all the Bad Boys movies. He managed to do that with certain other movies that we didn't like to begin with scripts. So what did they do? They gave him that movie and said, go for it. And then now he's back with the franchise after 3 people have taken the helm and had to ask him for help. Oh yes, it's true. Travis Knight had him in there. Hold on here. By the way, while Hot Wheels are relevant, I found 2 more cars from the Accelerator Silver Series tonight. Words cannot describe how much I love seeing those in stores. I kind of suspected you would find some more of that. So, I kind of suspected you would, Riveted. I really wasn't going to be surprised when you did. So, but no, so, like, Transformers The Last Night is an immediate 1 out of 10 on the scale of movies. It's a bad movie with good CGI, A-list actors with B-list acting, with S-tier CGI, with an F with an E with a D to an F tier script. That's what The Last Night was. There was nothing else about it other than it was just that. So, anyways, that was The Last Night. Bumblebee, I think that one has to go. That one gets a 9.5 out of 10. Almost a. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna downgrade it a little bit to a 9 out of 10 for 2 reasons. The first reason being, A, it's a new director, and as a new director, they always take their own creative liberties. They always take their own creative struggles. They always take their own They always try to make the film theirs, right? And that's not that big. That's not a problem. That's not the issue I'm trying to get into here. The reason why I do not particularly like Bumblebee as much as I do Dark of the Moon or Age of Extinction or even the '07 movie, actually no, is because I think that movie suffers from two things that were very, very, very difficult to pull off on camera in live action. The first one being, how do you convey the story of a continuous war with robots that are supposed to be on Earth and not interacting with humans? So that's the catch with that. That one's the one that I don't understand. The next thing that I did not like about it was I think that there were too many human scenes with Charlie and Memo and all of those other characters that were in there. There were too many live action, like human scenes, and not as many robots fighting, not as many, scenes with, Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. Like, and take note, those were the only two Autobots they really focused on in the movie was Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. Now, I'm not saying that's a good thing or I'm not saying that's a bad thing. What I'm saying is that when you have only two characters be the whole centerpiece of the film and the movie and the shows and everything of that nature, if that's only your focus point, you're gonna lose interest from everyone. Which is why I don't rank Bumblebee as high. Because it's one of those movies that could be good, but it's one of those movies that is like, it's just on the cusp of being an amazing flick. Yet when it comes down to the ending portion of the movie, it's like, okay, well, where's the rest of it? What's going to happen now? And nobody gets their conclusion until Rise of the Beasts, to which I will get into Rise of the Beast here in just a second. So, yeah. Oh, thank you to whoever liked the video again. So, Rise of the Beasts. Where do I rank Rise of the Beasts? Well, that one's going to sit. I'm going to sit that one at a 6.5. At a 6.5. That's where that one gets ranked because, let's be honest, that movie. That was a movie we wanted, but it was a movie that nobody asked for. Nobody asked for the Maximals and the Predacons to be in the film. Nobody asked for Unicron to be a main villain. Nobody asked for a lot of things. Not to mention, I'd just like to throw this all on in there. If this is all canon to the Bayverse, which I'm told it's supposed to be, then how come they literally had to break so many continuities just so they could make the plot of Rise of the Beasts work? I would just like to ask that. Like, they broke continuity with the '07 film, with Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon. They were trying to continue something off of an idea based off an Age of Extinction. That didn't work out too well. Then they were like, well, maybe we'll do something with Beast Wars. And then they went into Beast Wars, and then they pulled out quite possibly some of the most nonsensical characters from Beast Wars. And then they didn't even bother to continue with the theme of Beast Wars. And they just decided to go, oh, well, the only character anybody's really going to care about is Scorponok. All right, we're done. That's pretty much all they did. And what sucks about it is it wasn't just one. They did it with multiple characters. So, yeah. All right, well, I think we'll keep the stream going here for another few minutes, and then we shall end the video. And then tomorrow I will get on to reviewing these guys, so that way we can have some reviews for everybody to come out next week and the week after. To which, by the way, folks, if you guys are doing your final Christmas shopping, then nobody's paying me to tell you this, but Go like to your local toy shops and your local game stores and stuff like that. Go check out your local places because the local places may not have everything that you need, but they might have something that you need. And I'm going to be honest with you, local places are always the best to go get some of your best stuff and some of the best stuff. I'm not going to lie because seriously, I went to a retro video game store in a city not too far from me in Utah, and I just could not have. I can't. There's no complaints. Okay, and if it's a local thing, then you know the person you're going to be dealing with also has probably got some struggles that go on with that as well. So please be careful and be aware of who you're buying from and where you're getting your stuff from because there's a lot of things that are going on right now that I cannot say is good or bad, but I can definitely say it's not fun. People are they're not able to make their rent on time, they're not able to feed their families, they're not able to put gas in their tanks, they're not able to some people I know are not even able to go to work. So I do understand certain things of the nature when it comes to that. But what I am going to say is this: everyone needs to have a little bit of compassion and some sympathy throughout the holidays and empathy as well. So I think it would be a good thing for everybody to find a reputable charity and donate to your favorite reputable charity that you know is going to work for you. I say this because there's only a couple charities that I truly trust. The first one being Locks of Love. They donate all of the hair they donate hair to make wigs for cancer treatment patients and people who have lost their hair due to alopecia, along with other things of that nature. So please take note. No one's paying me, no one's telling me, no one's emailed me, no one said a thing to me about these charities for you to go do that. So please go check them out and go support them as best you can. The second one is St. Jude's Children's Hospital as well. I highly suggest that you go check them out as well. They always are making sure that no family ever receives a bill from St. Jude's, and your donations plus the ones that we donate on the channel will also be for that as well. So please do not forget to donate to your favorite charities of that. And also, please do not forget to give to your local churches and the local what is it like the homeless shelters, I guess. Do not forget to give to people who are in need. Don't forget to do that because it is definitely the holidays and people need that for sure. So, anyways, this is going to be it for the live stream, and we are going to start by giving off the shout outs here. So, we're going to shout out Zaga the Oreo. Go check him out. Go check out at Josiah Lopez dash O2. I think that's an L. Do not forget to check out at SF6978. And do not forget to check out Riveted Railfan. And also, one more time, do not forget to check out Jordy's Rail videos, Patrick's Voice Rail, Riveted Reviews, along with Riveted Railfan, who's been in our comments below as well. And do not forget to check out Alexander Rothschild, iStar552, Bravely GG, Take Along Productions, Kitten Cat 999, Lemon Lime Studios, Sentinel Edits, and Little Erm. Because all of them deserve some love during the holidays, because they're also friends, family, and fans of the show. So please do not forget to check all of them out. And once more, do not forget to subscribe for more content because you will get to see these two reviews coming within the next couple weeks. And this is Thomas Fennel 1 saying, do not forget to keep playing with your toys.